Hi everybody, welcome. Today's video will be short-ish. Old grandma's battling to cope with exams, housekeeping, cooking and all other chores and catching up with the royals. There seem to be less and less hours in the day these days. I got up at 7:30 this morning, 2 hours later than usual, and it feels like I missed an entire day. Just awful. Anyway, guys, I'm going to jump right in with Harry and Meghan today. Let's get it over and done with. Okay, on March the 7th, Judge Nichols of the Federal District Court in Washington ordered DHS to hand Harry's visa application to him for review. DHS complied with the court order round about the 10th of April. Although the judge did not provide a timeline for his decision as to whether he will or he won't allow the Heritage Foundation access to Harry's visa application, I see that a verdict is indeed expected this week, or at least within the next 7 days or so. Now, I spoke to someone and asked about the possibilities, and according to him, Harry won't just be deported willy-nilly. Even if it is found that he lied on his application, and even if the paperwork is made available to the Heritage Foundation, he said there is a big difference between a foreigner being caught red-handed with drugs and paraphernalia and Harry's situation. Although most people are now convinced that Harry is on an A1 visa, we still do not know 100% whether that is indeed true or not. The type of visa Harry is living in the United States on will play a role, but according to this man, if the paperwork proves that Harry has lied, regardless of whether it is handed over to the Heritage Foundation or not, if Harry lied, it is likely that the judge will order an official investigation. So, he is not sure at this point whether the Heritage Foundation's allegation of preferential treatment for high-profile celebrities will even be relevant at the end of the day. If the judge orders an investigation as a federal judge, he can then also ultimately decide Harry's fate after another hearing or another court case in any event, which can then end up in a fine, jail time, deportation, or whether Harry walks away scot-free. So how can that be? Well, the person I spoke to said he suspects that the judge is taking so long with his decision because there may already be an ongoing investigation. It is indeed possible. So maybe the gossip mongers are right, and Judge Nichols will give his decision in the next 1 to 7 days. I pushed this man for an opinion, and the person I spoke to then said he suspects that Judge Nichols will allow the visa application to be made public or to be released conditionally to the Heritage Foundation. This means that the judge may release it to the foundation but prohibit them from making it public, or he will force them to redact certain information in the application. He says he believes that the judge will opt for the third option because the judge appears irritated with U.S. immigration and the lawyers for the Department of Homeland Security. He reminded me of what the judge said. He said, "This is, of course, shining a light on government decision-making. It is not about the public's interest, prurient or otherwise. So we'll have to wait and see. Those who tell you that Harry is up for deportation is lying to you and making headlines for clickbait or clicks. Everything is pure speculation at this point and depends on the judge's verdict. But remember, the main piece of information is that if there is a decision, or when there is a decision to release the paperwork, there will be an investigation and another hearing in which Harry or his lawyers will have the right to defend him, and only then can or will or may the judge decide to deport, fine, or jail. Even in the case of Joe Soap or anyone else, they themselves have to appear before a judge and given the right to defend themselves. So people telling you that the Heritage Foundation's case will lead to Harry's deportation are talking shite. There will have to be another case, a new investigation, a new hearing, and Harry's lawyers will have the opportunity to defend him before deportation can happen. Except, and there is an exception, if he is on an A1 diplomatic visa, then he can be deported straight away for diplomatic misconduct. So, if he is on a diplomatic visa, it may come to bite him in the backside. Because you also have to remember that if he was on an A1 visa, he would also not have been allowed to work in the United States. And that is why I do not think he is on an A1 visa. Because remember, Meghan's niece, Ashley Hale, is indeed an immigration lawyer. And I think even the CEOs of BetterUp would have known that he could not work and earn on an A1 visa. Anyway, let's see who's right and let's see what Judge Nichols decides. He can't hold off on his decision forever. All I have to say about it is that I hope this is handled fairly. Harry admitted in public, on television, in social media, and in his book that he is indeed using drugs. And I mean currently, not only in the past. If it was you or me, we would have had to answer for that under the same conditions. And I don't care what the procedure is to deport Harry. If he lied on his visa application and is using drugs as a foreigner on United States soil, then he has to go through the process and procedures and be deported if found guilty of a federal offense. I am not worried about where he goes if he has to leave the United States, despite what he says. His life is not in any more danger in the United Kingdom as it is in the United States, and in no more danger than any citizen in the United Kingdom. If he has to go back, he has to go back. And I'm sure once there, he can negotiate with some African country to house him, give him asylum, or whatever. Maybe he can take his wife back to her motherland. Oops, I forgot. She burned her bridges there as well. Anyway, I'm sure some African country will allow them to stay. Maybe not the Congo or Nigeria, but somewhere else. Okay, guys, I bid you a fond goodbye. Take care of yourselves until we meet again on the next one. Bye.